everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelly. It's really nice to meet you. Today we're going to talk about everything writing related in 2025. I am going to go over some highlights, some lower moments. I wouldn't call them improvements, but lowlights. I'm going to talk about writing adjacent things that are pertaining to me, I guess, like this channel, authortube, maybe some authortube drama, Auger Society, my editing business. We have a lot to talk about, so let's just get started. I have a huge list of notes that I want to get through, so we're going to talk about highlights first. All right, so the biggest highlight for me this year is that I sold and published 4 poems. 3 of them went to Spec Poeverse. I believe they are a newer publication, and one of them went to Utopia. The one that went to Utopia was actually edited by Lynn Sargent, and as someone who was reading a lot of poetry before, Lynn Sargent is one of the biggest names, I think, in the spec poem kind of circle, and for her to edit my poem and for her to like it, that was a huge, accomplishment, I guess. I don't know if accomplishment is the right word, but that was a huge thing that happened, and I did not expect it at all, and I just can't imagine having a book blurbed, your book blurbed by one of your favorite writers. I feel like that would be an out-of-the-world experience, so that was really cool. I have never had multiple pieces accepted by a magazine before, so when it came to Spec Poeverse, I was really happy about that, and I felt like the editors and we have like a similar vision, so that was really fun. All the poems in Spec Poeverse are available to read for free, so you can read them through my website. I think I have a link to everything on my website. And as for Utopia, you cannot read it for free online, but you can buy the ebook. I think it can't be that much. I'm really excited. I sold all those poems. Like, these poems mean a lot to me, and this isn't the place for me to go through each poem and explain why they're so important to me, but I was really happy about that. I also donated a Drabble. I say donated like it's free to grab, but it's not. So they accepted the piece, but because it's only 100 words, I didn't get paid for that. So I would say I donated that. And this short Drabble, it was like the second thing I've ever written for publication. So it's really cool that I got picked up in 2025. I think I wrote that in like 2021. I also sold another short story. It was supposed to get published this year, but I believe the publication date got pushed to February. I'm really glad I sold this one. This one's called Picture Day. According to my stats right in front of me, give me a second. I think I subbed it to how many places? I subbed this short story to over 20 places, just 20 places. I love this short story so much. It's one of the best short stories I've ever written. Although I did get 2 short stories published in the past, I think Picture Day is one of the strongest stories I've written to date so far, and I'm so glad I got picked up. I felt like the editor did such an amazing job with the piece when I was working with her, and I'm really proud of it. This is like the first short story that I am genuinely really proud, and I think when you read this, or when whoever reads this is where my current writing style kind of straddles. I think the writing in this one and the writing in the other one, not really the best, but this one I am so proud of it. It's written in second person. I've never done that before, and because I wrote this like so long ago, I can't quite remember why I chose to write it in second person, but it fits really well with the story and the vibes, and yeah, I'm really excited for that one. That one has a Kickstarter, so if you're interested in backing it up, I will have the link down below. Yeah, so proud of this one. It's sci-fi, deals with grief, sisterly love, set in the future in Toronto. It's great. The second highlight of my year is that I got into Tin House. I got into their spring workshop, and I was mentored under Aiden Thomas. I had such an amazing experience in this workshop, and I'm so glad I did, because I would do it again. If I could replay a memory, I would do the workshop over again, but I would not necessarily apply for something like this and pay for it again. But okay, this sounds like a negative thing. It's not a negative thing at all. I had such a great time meeting my cohort, and I felt like we all got along really well. I have never had an experience quite like Tin House before. I wouldn't say Maggie Stiefvater's retreat, the one I went to 2 years ago, was like that, because the one from Maggie Stiefvater's retreat First of all, like, we weren't as close knit. It was very individualistic. The cohort in Maggie's retreat, they were a lot older than me. I think most of the ladies there were around their early 40s, like late 30s, whereas I was 28 when I went. But the one in Tin House, it felt more like, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like going to school again, and you're meeting all these peers around your age. And the last time I had an experience like that was probably when I was solo traveling in 2018, where I met a bunch of people all at once close to my age who were really like-minded. But obviously we're not traveling, we're writing, and I don't know, it was really nice. It was really nice to connect with so many people who were like-minded to me, and everyone was so encouraging. I loved my cohort. I thought it was such a really perfect group of people that were working together. And being mentored by Aiden Thomas was also such an incredible experience. One of the things I remember that stands out to me the most, probably the biggest highlight of 2025, was that Aiden Thomas told me, or he gave me editors that I could probably submit my manuscript to. And that is me not having an agent. Like, I don't have an agent. And for Aiden to start recommending me, like, you should sub to this editor, you should sub to, I was like, oh my God, I don't even have an agent yet. And prior to me going to the workshop, I found out early on that my cohort, and what I mean by my cohort is people under Aiden Thomas. So in Tin House, you are paired with a mentor, and there's about 6 writers per mentor. And oh my God, where's I going with this? I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, my cohort, half of my cohort had agents, and half of my cohort also had traditionally published books. And I remember I was really nervous when I found that out, because obviously I have neither. And I was like having some imposter syndrome, like, why was I even chosen for this? I don't have an agent. But then I remember one of my writing friends, I can't remember who, it was either Melissa, Chris, or Lynn. They were like, maybe your manuscript is to the level of like an agent writer level. And I thought that was really nice. That was a really nice way to put it. So the whole Tin House experience was so fun. I vlogged the whole thing. I will put a preview up here because that vlog is unloved, but I love that vlog so much. So here's the preview.
Let's go Tin House YA. Tin House YA.
I loved Portland. I want to go back again. I want to bring Dimitri. I would love to meet up with Katie Wismer too. I just didn't have time. If you would like to apply for Tin House, I do recommend it because I think it's an invaluable experience, but it was just really pricey. It was about $2,500 for a weekend. A little too pricey, but if I could get a scholarship, any way to get a discount, I think I would do that next time. But I'm so glad I loved it so much because I think it was worth it for what it was. I did my first reading there. I've never done readings before. You know, like your favorite author will read like a page or two from their book. That's called a reading. And I was so nervous for my reading. I read the prologue of my young adult fantasy, but everyone was so supportive. Like, it was such a good time. I would replay my memory and I would do that trip again. So my third highlight is this. I edited the first half of this book and I printed it so I could read through the beginning and make notes so I could continue revising the second half, because I kind of got stuck I got stuck once I got to the midpoint. I think this is the best book I've ever written, if I'm being quite honest. I think everything I've written up to now, all the books needed a huge restructure, or they needed like surgery, like lots of surgery. This is the only book that I feel like is very sound, and yes, there is work, but it's not like a complete rehaul, a complete revamp, a complete reset. This is it's pretty good. I ended up stopping, like I did not finish revising this because I wanted to go back to my young adult fantasy. So the whole kind of context you need around this book is that this was the break book I needed to write before I could go back into my young adult fantasy. My young adult fantasy, pretty much like I've had the idea since I think 2021, and it just took me a long time to write, and I kind of got tired of it. So that's when I wrote this book, and this book reinvigorated my creativity. It refilled my creative well, and it was because of this book that I am able to continue working on the young adult fantasy that I am currently working on. I would love to get back to this book after I finish revising my young adult fantasy. Yeah, I do think this is the best book I've ever written. I think the prose in my young adult fantasy is better just because, I don't know, that's the nature of my character and the tone and the vibe/style of that young adult fantasy. But I would say structure-wise, book-wise, work-wise, this is definitely the best book I've written. And I didn't want to read the first page to you. Oh, also, yeah, I made this. I have a whole video on how I made this. It looks so good. It's not called North. It's not actually called North. I guess that's the working title that I will tell YouTube. The back says, maybe north of us there will be serenity. I did want to read the first page. How do I do this while holding the mic? Okay, here we go. Before, there was nothing more terrifying than being the only person on a Zoom call, seeing your name in a black box square, wondering what kind of bullshit today's small talk would be. But today, I was buzzing. I wasn't in the Zoom call, but somewhere in Finland on a rooftop with my arms stretched out. Instead of my brother promising me he'd have the house for us, I'd have the house for him. Nothing was going to stop me from bringing Henry there. Not with his 35th birthday coming up. Not when everything was lined up. My immigration status through my new job based in Helsinki, a new house about to close later this week. Everything I worked for tied neatly in a bow. It was almost too good to be true, and in a way, I felt taught to it. Like with one pull, everything would come undone. Needs some line level edits. I haven't done line level edits, but overall, that's the vibe. That's the vibe. The more I talk about this, the more excited I am to work on it. I would love to self-publish this if I can and work on book 2 and book 3 and book 4. This is the first of an interconnected standalone series. Okay. Whew. This is going to be a long video. I already know it. Okay. My 4th highlight of the year. Well, I guess I already talked about it. I guess I grouped them all together. Yeah, my 4th highlight was just saying that I am now working on the young adult fantasy that I plan on querying. And this is a highlight because I feel like for so long it's been in a limbo state, and it wasn't really until this year that I went to Tin House and got so much good feedback from Aiden and my cohort that I'm ready to make this. I'm ready to pursue traditional publishing with young adult fantasy. And just a highlight because it's a decision, and I feel like because I struggled with this book in the past, it feels like, I don't know, like I put a stamp on it. Like, we're doing it, we're setting the goal to do it, and we're going to do it. So yeah, those are my highlights of 2025. Okay, now let's move on to lowlights. Lowlights, what do lowlights mean? Lowlights, I think I said earlier, they're not really improvements I want to make on myself, but low moments, like dull moments, maybe moments I'm not quite proud of, but things that happened. And oh my god, I have so many. Okay, we gotta refer to my notes app. The first little I have written is that I'm still waiting to hear back from my R&R. I did an R&R for a short story. Honestly, it was a very long process and quite, what's the word? Like, I don't want to say anything bad about the editor or the magazine because it's not really them, but the whole process was just a little bit underwhelming, and it made me realize that I will never accept an R&R for an agent. If my ideal agent, I don't think I have one, I guess dream agent, told me to do an R&R for my young adult fantasy, I think I would say no based on this experience I had with this short story. It was just so long and it's not guaranteed, which is the worst part. If Random House or Tor's editor wanted me to do an R&R, like I would do that for an editor. If I was on sub, I would do it for an editor because there's so much more. I think the risk is worth it then. But for an agent, I think I can get an agent. I don't need your R&R, I'm sorry. And I think it's just too much work. And this short story R&R just solidified that. The short story I did an R&R for, it was not even 1,000 words, and I bumped it up to 1,400 based on like 3 back and forths with the editor. And once it was done, I had to resubmit that to their queue. So now I'm waiting again. I think by the time I get a notice, it will be almost, I don't know, maybe close to a year since I submitted it. And it was just, I don't know if the word is disappointing, but it was just underwhelming. It was, I don't know, I didn't really love that R&R process. So that's why I don't think I'm going to do an R&R with the agent. I mean, it's not like I have an R&R with an agent, but I don't think I would do that if the opportunity presented itself. So yeah, I'm still waiting back for the R&R. I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm gonna get it just because I feel like I put so much work into that and I was thinking so much about it. And the thing with short stories, that I talked about this really briefly, I don't know what video, but a lot of my short stories are old, so I don't remember my inspiration for them. And so it's really hard to edit something that you no longer will write currently. So I feel like while I was revising that, I kind of lost the intention. Like, I don't remember what my initial intention was. But anyway, that's out there with the editor. Who knows what's gonna happen. I'm not holding my breath, if I'm being honest. Another low light, these kind of all group together, so I'll explain them after I list them. I did not write any new short stories this year. I stopped writing poetry halfway through this year, and I stopped submitting short fiction and poetry halfway through the year. All of these bundle into one word or two words, and it's burnout. The biggest lowlight of me this year is that I'm still in the middle of a burnout and I am recovering, but I don't know when it will end. I've never felt burnout to this degree. I truly feel like I have a 3rd-degree burn in my soul and my mind, and I just don't know how to pull myself out of it. And the reason I have this burnout is because I've been essentially working 2 jobs for the last 2 years. Honestly, I think I was working more than that, like more than 2 years, but let's be like realistic, I guess, because I don't want to count like so many years ago because things were a little bit different. But 40 hours of my day job, I'm a product manager, 10 hours a week at least for writing, 10 hours a week at least for YouTube, 10 hours a week at least for Augur, 10 hours a week at least for my editing business, and doing that for 2 years straight, I would not recommend it. And this summer, if you guys didn't notice, I'm sure, I don't know who did actually, but I stopped posting in the summer. Actually, I withdrew myself from publishing and anything writing related in the summer because I was really burned out and so over it. I felt like I spent the last whatever years building this brand of publishing and editing, and it didn't lead me anywhere. I needed to step back and to find who I was. I know it sounds so cheesy. Find who I really was before I started doing all of this. COVID obviously destroyed a lot of people's lives, and I'm really sorry about that. For me, COVID didn't exceed that far into my family and everyone's health, but for me, it uprooted my life trajectory. Before the pandemic, I never thought I'd be making YouTube videos. I never thought I'd be an editor, running my own business. I didn't think of any of this. I was just a girly working my day job and trying to write. I didn't even think I would get this far and be award nominated. COVID really pushed me in this direction. I wanted to find who I was before I did all of this. So that was something I did when I withdrew myself. And honestly, I couldn't completely withdraw myself. It was actually impossible. It is impossible because I was still lead editing one of my Augur issues, which came out, by the way, in November. And all my friends are writers. So it's just not possible for me to pull myself out, really. It's not like work where you can just log off and like never think about work until you log back in. Writing is such pervasive, it's everywhere, and it was really hard for me to remove myself, but I tried to because I needed that break, and it really helped me. I think that's why I'm still able to post some videos and I'm still able to kind of like go back into it. But yeah, I guess this leads nicely to the other updates. Other ways I'm trying to get out of this burnout is that I kind of quit everything. If you guys aren't caught up, I quit my editing business. Initially, I was just only pausing it for the remainder of 2025 because I had a client pretty much every month until June of this year. I thought I needed a break until the end of the year until I realized I didn't want to do this anymore. So I'm no longer doing my editing anymore. I stepped down from Augur Society, so that's also another update. I'm not doing fiction editing or poetry editing or the website, and I was dedicating a lot of time for that. I've edited a lot of issues. I've been in Augur since I think 2022. I can't quite remember, but it's about time I took a break from that, and I kind of quit YouTube. I went to get some water. I was coughing and dying. Where was I? I don't even remember what I was saying. I think I was saying about YouTube. Yeah, I don't think I can actually ever quit YouTube. I've been creating videos since I was so young. Like, I would say video creation is probably hobby number 2 after writing. It was something I've always done consistently, like throughout my childhood too. So I don't think I could ever quit YouTube. But recently I've been finding it really, I'm not motivated to make videos because I feel like it's counterproductive. Every time I have to give an update, I find it kind of annoying. I just want to write the book. Every time I have to edit the video, I'm thinking about me not working on my book. I already have such a limited time that doing anything else other than writing right now feels draining. It feels like a waste of time. And to be honest, like, that's part of the reason why I quit everything. It wasn't just to not be burned out anymore, is to make sure that I'm focusing on the right things, because I feel like I wasted so much time trying to build a business, trying to build this channel, what a freaking waste of time. Like, what a waste of energy. I feel so stupid. I honestly, for a long time, felt really ashamed I even tried to do this, because it failed. It completely failed, and I do not want to be in that position again. So whenever I'm like doing stuff that's not writing related, I feel that voice inside me that's like, you're wasting time like you did the last 3 years. You shouldn't be doing this. So intrinsically, I'm not as motivated to make the videos, and also externally too, my channel is dying. No sympathy, it's fine, it's just the way it is. I haven't been posting, and because my channel is dying too, it's like I have no motivation on either ends. I don't have intrinsic motivation, I don't have external motivation to post videos. So we'll see what the content creation is like in 2026. I don't know. Another thing about authortube, since we're talking about YouTube, is that I found that this year there was a lot of drama, and I did not like it. I do not like it, and I don't know how much I want to get into, but I felt like this year there was a lot of conversation on authortube being exclusive, authortube not producing the right kind of content, which is fine to critique, but that's not to say that I can't also critique back. Just because it's someone's opinion doesn't mean I can't challenge them. I'm not challenging anything though, just putting it out there. I just don't like it when I am grouped with a bunch of other comments, whether or not they are true. I just don't like it. I don't want to be a part of it. So maybe subconsciously, that's kind of why I haven't been posting a lot either. Just being perceived, I hate it. Like, I am a nobody. Like, I am a freaking nobody. So it's just really annoying to be perceived in a way that I'm not.
Leave me alone, please leave me alone. Leave me alone, please leave me alone.
Some random like YouTube stats. Last year, I gained almost 3,000 subscribers. I had a monthly audience of 6,000 viewers, and I had 2 million impressions overall. This year, I had less than 1,000 subscribers. My monthly audience was 1.6 thousand, and I only got 1 million impressions, which is fine. YouTube is not a source of income for me. It is purely something fun. I haven't taken on a sponsorship since last July. And why am I saying all this? I don't know, just to be real with you on this channel, because I just don't know how I see this YouTube going forward. I just really want to focus on the writing, and I don't unfortunately care as much to share this process. I don't know. Do you guys like the videos? I don't know. A lot of creators rely on like liking and subscribing as kind of like a feedback to the videos they post. So if you hear your favorite creator saying like, oh, please like, please, they want to know that people are going to watch them, because it's kind of like creating for what, when I could be doing other things, especially because I'm not viewing YouTube as a monetization tool. It's purely a hobby. I'm gonna keep things, I guess, my pace, but if you're interested in certain types of videos, or if you really do like the vlogs, like, it would be really great feedback. I feel like we should wrap this video up with some 2026 writing goals. I don't really have any writing goal aside to finish the Young Adult Fantasy, so it can be beta read. I want to send it to 2 people. I have 2 people in mind. I haven't reached out to them yet. I don't think I will until I have like a completed draft that is like ready to be sent out. One more goal for 2026, not really writing related, but it's reading. I want to read an hour every single day. I have so many books I want to read, and reading is such a great way for me to get better at my own writing. So that's something I really really want to focus on. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm gonna be back in the office like 5 days a week starting next year. So that probably will like hurt the channel a lot. I don't know when we're going back, but we are going back. Just a matter of when. So yep, thank you so much for hanging out with me in 2025. I hope you guys had a fantastic new year. 2026, we're gonna accomplish great things. We're gonna write, we're gonna lock in, and overall we're gonna be healthy, we're gonna be happy. Thanks again for sticking out with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.